Hello. Happy Halloween. I did not dress up other than I'm still in my work clothes from today. So much apologies. Many apologies. Much apologies doesn't make sense. I'm on a grammar kick lately and I feel like I'm correcting myself 10 times more than I ever was before. It's fine though. It'll be fine. I'm not judging here. I can't wait to hang out with y'all. Because it feels like last time we hung out was like a month ago, even though it was only 7 days ago. Just feels like time is like flying by and like so full, and it's busy. That's all I'll say. Just a very busy time. So happy Halloween to all you just joining. You may have expected me to be in like full get up and everything, but I will be honest with you, I had literal seconds to get in here and get this kick-started, to the extent that this is this morning's makeup. This is the blouse I wore underneath my suit jacket today. And I've been all over Houston for meetings and had to go to the RV to stop in to prepare that, and then got home just in time to be able to cover up some more of the plants in the garden and to be hanging out with y'all like to the minute, hauling it in. In fact, Lester is just finishing chores and coming in as well. He had to do part of my chores for me because I wanted to hang out with y'all. Your phone's right here, babe. Sorry, I left it on the charger for you. So I kind of was worried that y'all were going to be trick-or-treating tonight, or at least answering the door for trick-or-treaters, but it turns out that y'all are going to be stuck with me instead. So in true Timeout Tuesday fashion, we're going to have us a cocktail, and we're going to talk about one of the dumb things that I did this week. So tonight's cocktail, this is only a seasonal thing, but it is a cranberry Sprite Zero. They make regular cranberry Sprite. They make cranberry ginger ale too, but this is like apparently a holiday thing. And I stock up every year, and I found my first 12-pack of the season, and they make it in zero, which makes it 10 times better. We're going to have cranberry Sprite with some lime vodka, and let me just tell you, it's fabulous. Fabulous. So, somebody says, just one dumb thing, Jamie? I did one epically dumb thing, and I can't wait to tell you all about it. But first, we're going to cocktail it up. That lime vodka smells so terrific. You expected it to be pink, didn't you? It's not. No red food dye in this one. And, babe, I'm so sorry to ask you to do this. A spoon to stir. People think it's weird when I shove my finger in my drink. Thank you. Oh, it's okay. I'm a rebel and leave that ice machine going during my lives. You want to cheers with me?
I'll do it from behind the camera.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Cheers. Cheers to Timeout Tuesday, y'all. Now that's a good drink. Seasonally spicy and citrusy. You will be surprised. I'm telling you. You will be pleasantly surprised. Okay, so who wants to hear the dumb thing that Jamie did this week? Because Lester is still standing here shaking his head about it because he knows exactly what I'm going to say. Hear me out. So the RV has a king-size bed, and Lester and I have slept in it a few nights. And I'm sad to say it was the most horrible night's sleep ever. So I have to succumb to it just needs a different mattress. It's not because the RV itself or the temperature or the sounds, nothing like that. It's because the mattress is exactly this thick, and it lays on a piece of plywood. And it turns out that Lester and I are no spring chickens and that we need a little bit more support, a little more cushion, because I'm also not 100 pounds and can't just lay like that. And I'll be honest, the RV that we have here, the bed is the same way. So this is not like news. We just don't spend a lot of time in this RV, and nobody else that stayed here has complained about it. Maybe they're just being kind. Anyway, first 2 nights in the RV, 2 separate times, they were rough. We both left there feeling sore, and we decided that, okay, mattresses are pretty inexpensive, and you can order them on Amazon now, and they come in this bundled up dead body looking thing. And to be honest, that's going to work out really well because they're foam and you can buy them certain depths. And that's what we have here and have at the Barn Dominium. So I was like, I'm going to order a mattress and we'll just put it on top of the one. I'll order like a 6-incher to go on top of my 1-incher. Okay, I'm being a little dramatic. It's like 3 inches. But either way, I'm going to order a decent sized one and I'll put it right on top of there. So it comes in, I'm all excited. I put it in my car. I wait for Lester to go to the RV with me. And Saturday night, we tried really hard to get to the costume contest in time, but not at the RV park. They had this like Halloween party thingy. And we were going to like at least show face there. Well, we didn't make it to that. So instead we had our own little dead body party in the RV where we literally look like we're shoving up a body that's wrapped up quite tightly into the RV. It's fine. Everybody else is at the party, so we don't look conspicuous at all. We get it up in there. We get it on the bed. It even comes with its own little like letter opener slicer so you don't rip the mattress with a box cutter like every man would. So you slice it open with the little thingy-majigger, and it says to unroll it and to let it get air, and it will gain its composure. All of a sudden, as I'm unrolling it, I realize that it is a little bit big, just a little bit. I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is just maybe I have it turned wrong. Let's turn it the other way. No. It's bigger that way. And now it's kind of past the point of no return because as it's expanding this way, it's also expanding this way, and it's the wrong way, and there are walls, and Lester and Jamie are between those walls and the mattress as we're trying to space it out appropriately. Okay. So at this point in time, Lester's like, it'll be fine. It'll wedge itself in there. And once we get it all the way formed in, we have 2 little nightstands that are like 6 inches wide on the side. He's like, we'll just wedge it down there and it'll just be a little bit fluffy. No, it's not. I mean, it's fluffy, but it didn't wedge in between the nightstands. It is wedged in between the walls. And I don't know why, but it looks like this. Like it is a V because it's wedged. And Lester and I are also stuck. And the thing is so heavy now because it's expanded and awkward that we can't figure it out to like spin it back the other way. And Lester's like, just put the sheets on it. And when we get our bodies on it tonight and sleep on it, it'll form and it'll wedge down. I have a V-shaped mattress in the RV on top of the other one at this point in time that's dangling over every ledge. And I still don't understand why, because a king is a king, right? Wrong. So as we wedge ourselves out of there and just decide, you know what, let's go sit down. Let's have a cocktail. Let's look at our phones for the first time today and just, I don't know, send TikToks back and forth to each other from across the room. Have a snack, and by the time that we get to bed, we'll be tipsy enough so it won't matter. So we do just that. And when it comes time to go to bed, I can't walk anymore between the bed and the dresser to go to the bathroom the normal way. I have to sideways it. I can accept this. I'm not a tiny little girl. I can get behind this. It's going to be fine. Lester gets into bed and he goes, that feels a little bit high. Because keep in mind, we didn't take off our slab underneath it. First, we just put it on top and thought it would be somewhat like a mattress topper. Y'all, I had to hop, skip, and jump to get in bed. And when I got in bed, keep in mind that my V, we met in the middle, like a lot in the middle, and I couldn't roll any other way without like having to use his body as leverage to twist inside the mattress. Regardless, we slept. Lester slept like a baby. I'm talking log sawing and starfished all the way out. And I don't understand how gravity is not bringing him to the center. Yet I am like, he's here and I am somehow underneath of him. Like the gravity keeps shoving me directly underneath of him. No matter which way I turn or which way I flip my body, he's on top and I somehow keep getting shoved underneath the bottom. Regardless, we make it through the night. And of course, my normal wake up at 4 a.m., have to pee type of situation happens. And I'm like, this is probably bad because I don't know how I'm going to get out. I army crawled out of this dang mattress with my grips on the edges and the sheets coming off. There's foam chunks coming off in my fingernails because I have to pee and I have to get out of this mattress. And it is like this. I finally make it out. And you know, like when you fall off and like the edge of something like the diving board's like, okay, well, that's what the mattress did when I rolled off the side. Fine. So I'm laughing at myself at this point in time because I can't believe how ridiculous this is. And then it gets to the point where I have to get back in. I take my first little jump and my body says, you ain't doing that. Like there's like, because Lester's in it now, the V on my end is like here, like super high, like above my belly button high. So I bend over. This is the most embarrassing part of it all. I can't get my leg up and I look like a little fish trying to like kick my little baby as a duck, kicking my little legs as hard as I can. Like that's going to help anything in this world. I have to grab Lester's leg from the bed to pull myself up and he reacts and pulls it away from me. And I'm like, come back your damn leg so I can get in this bed. It's 4 a.m. He has no idea why I am touching his leg. And I am mortified at this whole event that the mattress is a V and I'm dangling off the half of it. And I can't fall asleep after this point after I finally crawl back in it and get lodged right underneath him again. And friends, the mattress is still there. I have not gone back to try to get it out of there because there's no way to get it out without cutting it in half. I thought that I would take my mini chainsaw or some sort of knife and like carve the edge out of that little thing and like hope that I could just, make something out of nothing. There's no hope. I'm going to have to saw it in half to get out. I've never had an experience like this in my life, but I will tell you, it's left its mark. And what I've learned is that there is such a size of mattress as an RV King. Who knew? My whole life, I didn't know that there was an RV King size mattress, which happens to be 70 by 75 and not 80 by 80, in case you needed to know that. So there, friends, RV King is a whole new mattress size that you didn't know about. So that was my dumb move of the week. And I told Lester that I was going to video us trying to get this stupid thing out of there. I did go to the RV store that's right down there to verify said mattresses do exist and that Amazon wasn't lying to me. And then turns out that the place I bought the mattress from actually does sell something called an RV King. And I didn't know that or have the knowledge to even look because a king is a king. I knew there was a California king. I knew there was a queen and a full and a twin and an extra long twin. But RV King, whole new game. So this is your public service announcement to just measure your mattress before you buy one because those little suckers sneak right up on you. Anyway. So, did y'all see the skipping video today? YouTube did. Facebook has not yet. Facebook will see it tomorrow. I had so much fun making the skipping video and I really didn't expect everyone to comply so much. Like no one questioned me when I walked up and was like, can you skip? Most of the time you get some dejectors that are like, I'm not doing that. I already know that I'm not doing that. Or some non-answers of the phone when you call and say, hey, I'm outside. Can you come outside for a second for a video? But I love the fact that everybody was like, I could skip. I could totally skip. Even G, who thought she couldn't skip, turns out she's got some skip skills. But let's think about this for a minute. Does anyone ever teach you to skip? Like, I know it's like a skill, like I think it's in like the screening of kids at some point in time. Maybe it's like maybe it's kindergarten screening to see if you have that skill set to skip. But I don't remember anyone teaching me to skip. And I don't remember at what point in time that skipping became like a normal thing in life. And but I remember doing it all the time as kids. I just don't remember like how do you learn that? So, I don't know. I will tell you that I have found myself skipping more out of like not for a video, like literally because when I did it, it felt like a great exercise. I didn't get hurt. Which happens to be a win in movement lately. But it really did like it set off some sort of like endorphin thing that made me feel happier to be doing what I was doing. Now, it also makes me feel more out of breath quicker. But I have found myself like today, Lester and Ben were helping me with the plant covering and they were doing some other chores while I was working on all the trees this afternoon. And I found myself skipping between the trees. And it just brought me a little bit more joy. So if you can still skip, I highly recommend that you add that to your day, even if it's for just a few steps, because it brought me up a little bit. It was like, oh, okay. For the record, running does not do that. Running, jogging, crunches, squats, none of those things make me feel like that. So it's not just like, Jamie, you need to exercise. I know I need to exercise. I know I need to do a whole lot more than I'm doing. But I will tell you that skipping was fun and it brought a little bit of like youth. I think that Sister Kim had the most like dainty skip until I saw Sister Tina, who had this like little like weavy thing in her skip, and it was so cute. And I think to myself, like, did they like do that a lot as kids? That they both like neither one of them saw each other before the videos or anything like that. But it was just kind of cute that they both had a very similar dainty little skip. I giggled at Brienne because Brienne had like this power high knee thing. And I have to call out Stephanie for something that is so funny. So in my screenshots, when I was screenshotting all of everybody's skip to be able to make what they call a thumbnail, which is what you see when you first see that the video is available. This is so embarrassing for Steph, and she's going to kill me that I'm saying it. I don't think she's watching. She's probably making soap. In my screenshot, I did not intend to do this, but she's wearing sandals, and her big toe is like pointing straight up. And I sent it to her last night. I'm like, when did you get such a big toe? What really is happening is like the camera caught it like in movement. So it looks like it is the biggest big toe of her whole life. But she replied back, she goes, why am I hitchhiking with my toe? Like, it was so funny. I will have to post it somewhere just to call it out. But it was absolutely hilarious. And Buddy is like full on off the ground all together at some point in time in his. And Lester is like all twisted up. And Uncle Dan looks like he's going to attack the camera. Like everybody's skip had really funny like things to catch in it. So I hope you saw that on the thumbnail. But we like to poke a little bit at each other. And Stephanie was definitely hitchhiking with her big toe in her skip moment. And I can say that because she's my friend and I love her, and she knows that I love her and her big toe. It's gonna be fine. Yeah. What else happened? You saw that I dressed up Starla and Finn. I wanted to take them house to house trick-or-treating, but that day there were so many vehicles out and about that I got really nervous about them being out. I am being visited by a guest right now who, oh no, he's leaving. Aries, the new black cat, just jumped up on the counter like he was going to join our live for a second. And I think that Aries has a little bit of sundowners, and he gets a little bit mean at night, so I'm not going to provoke him or anything, but he is, let's see. Hold on. Can you come here? Okay, don't be so mad. Tell everybody hi. You're very Halloweenish. You're the best Halloween decoration that we got. Oh, he looks so happy. He's actually becoming a very great cat. And all of the dogs and everything are totally cool with him, which is awesome. And I have to credit that to Mabel. Mabel is who taught our dogs to not chase cats, at least not her at first. But who taught our dogs, specifically Stella and Christmas, that cats are cool. Cats are one of them. He's sitting on the chair next to me now. So that's cool, but he doesn't want, I'm not allowed to pick him up or touch him, but he wants to look at me. So I guess that's a win. Funny story is Dave, a previous owner of Aries, called to check in about like, how's it going with the cat? Is there anything, any questions or anything that I can help with? And is he okay? All that stuff. And I told him about, the situation, we'll call it that. I was like, hey, have you ever noticed that he gets a little testy in the evenings? He's like, oh yeah, like he just gets the zoomies every once in a while. He doesn't really want to be touched at night. And I was like, yeah, you might have left that out like a little bit about it. He goes, well, I just thought it was because all my kids were home and he was just annoyed. I was like, well, they're the only kids that are here are dogs and cats, and that nobody's messing with him at that point in time. I was like, but Lester and I like look at him wrong, and he kind of looks like he wants to, slit our throats a little bit. And he's like, yeah, that does happen a little bit. Like he just, he gets a little bit like maybe he's oversensitized or overstimulated, and at nighttime he just kind of wants to do his own thing. I'm like, man, you didn't say those words. Not that it would have changed our minds, but would have been one of those things where like, hey, this cat does this really weird, kooky thing. So yeah. But he and Hank are getting along fine. I mean, they're not like cuddling and cleaning each other up or anything like that, but they're eating together and that's all good. Every once in a while, Aries likes to give him a little love tap on the head, and then Hank likes to remind him that Hank is not his boy. So that's going fine. But in reality, like all is very well balanced in this space. And I really love that Mabel is still here to hang out with us. And Mabel annoys the crap out of both those boys. So I think that's great. Somebody says, when do you feed him? Maybe that's the issue. So they free feed all day. There's dry food out available for them. And I asked Dave what they did, and that was the exact same thing. And he has his own space and his own food bowl, his own everything that's completely away from Hank that he has full access to. He chooses to eat with Hank or eat Hank's food. So we switched it out a little bit. Hi. He's just going to hang out there now for a little bit. But Aries is Aries during the day, and at night when he's got his issues, he is Uranus. That's how we're going to go. But, it is what it is. How's his rocket ship? His rocket ship is excellent. I've not figured out how to work said rocket ship, but it's here. And we put his cat tower in our bedroom, which is a whole other fun adventure, because there's something that dangles from that cat tower that makes a noise that Mabel has figured out. And she figured it out at roughly 2:00 this morning. And I woke up having no idea what was going on, thinking that there was like some appliance that I didn't know of that made some beeping, chirping noise that I didn't know about, or that there was a wild squirrel inside, something along those lines. No, it is a toy that dangles from the tower and that Mabel really, really, really likes to make the noise of. So that's fun. It's never dull. I got to spend a lot of time with Rita this weekend, and the rest of the horses and donkeys. I will tell you that Beverly's got some stuff going on. Not Beverly, that's a lie. Ivy has some stuff going on. And I've asked Dr. Cochran to come out next week to be able to see her. It's not a fire or urgent or anything like that. I just have a wound on her that I cannot get to heal. And I feel like I've tried a whole lot of different things already. And I'm on my last try here of some stuff called silver honey. And then I actually spoke with Courtney because Courtney is a farrier, and Courtney has had horses her whole life and has had to do a lot of things that are sort of off the beaten plan, off label treatment, that type of thing. And she kind of gave me some tips and said, we worked with a donkey like that before, and you have to soak their feet like several times a day in a mixture of, you're not going to believe this, Listerine and Epsom salt. And basically you're soaking it to soften the flesh to be able to debride the wound. And then afterwards you're putting on like a gel to allow the skin to, rejuvenate there. So we're looking into that. But, Ivy is our oldest donkey by far. And she's really been, through the ringer in her life from what we know. And sometimes as you get older, things don't heal as fast as they should. We had a really big fly problem this year, and fly strike was very real. So this cold, like, flash of weather that's coming in will actually be really good for Ivy and her wounds and any fly issues that we have. It'll kill the flies. So we will see what Dr. Cochran says and how this last resort of meds are going. But I think that we'll have to do some skin scrapes to see what to treat it with. And we also started antibiotics as well. So more to come on that. What else is going on? Oh, Donkey Dan has 2 tiny little wounds. He's fine. Those are little, like, I think that they're fly bites that just got a little bit just got a little bit there too long. I'll just say that. I treated those this weekend and he's good to go on that. I'm reading all the comments because did anybody have any trick-or-treaters? We did not have trick-or-treaters. Our gate's closed. That's really mean, but it's true. I mean, Ben was here and he left with a couple of Gatorades, so I guess that counts. I'm kidding. Ben made a video today, so I don't know when he'll post that, but if you haven't checked out Ben's page, it is the daily life and adventures of Ben, and I have to tell you that his videos are very intriguing and interesting to watch. Ben takes in a lot of knowledge, and then the way that he explains things that he's looking at he'll tell the history about and the why, and for me, I learn a lot from Ben. So I encourage you to see some of that. Gigi started a YouTube, which is great. Her Facebook got hacked last week. So she's moved on to YouTube, and that's really exciting. Lester is not still missing, actually. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't supposed to say it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what happened to Lester or the man that's in the bathtub yelling. Just saying. A lot of people don't get trick-or-treaters where they live either. I have to tell you, I lived outside of town when we were really little. And that was probably like prime time trick-or-treating. And my parents, I'm talking like 5 and under. My parents would drive us to town to go to the grandparents' house and do that, but we never went like big trick-or-treating until my parents got divorced and we moved into town. And I was at that point in time that I was 8 and I was old enough to go with just friends. We lived in very small community, like it was safe. And during that time, I remember the amount of candy that we would come home with. And I also remember, still to this day, which houses gave you the full-size candy bars. One of the guys I went to school with, the boys, I'll say boys I went to school with, his dad worked at the man, I don't know what it was called then, but it was the Willy Wonka factory where they made sweet tarts and Laffy Taffy and like whatever brand of candy that is, Smarties and Sprees and Chewy Sprees and Nerds, all that stuff. So his house was like the house to go to because you could get full-size candy bars and it was definitely the good stuff. And most of the time it was like 2 or 3 of something. So like that had to be on your list and as to like a place to go. And every kid in town knew it. They probably had every kid in that town and other towns come because they knew that that was where the good stuff was. And then you would also know which places made like the best popcorn balls, which I think probably is a dying thing because everybody's all terrified now of what other people put in stuff, and you don't know who lives where and what houses you can trust and all of that thing. But you also knew which houses had the not so great stuff, like the peanut butter kisses. Now, I personally am okay with a peanut butter kiss. You know, that peanut butter taffy and the orange and black. I don't even know if they still make that anymore. Or the Tootsie Roll places, like, meh. I mean, they just weren't the best. So it's funny because still to this day, I remember which houses. Now, clearly, those people probably don't live there anymore. Some of them may not even be alive anymore. But I remember the good houses to go to. And I'm wondering in the comments if y'all knew the good houses to go to, or if your house was the good house or still is the good house to go to. Somebody says, I love peanut butter kisses. I also love peanut butter kisses. I love candy. That's really a horrible thing, but it's true. Oh, they do a lot of trunk or treat. See, I never heard of trunk or treat growing up because trick or treat was such a big deal in our town. In fact, trick or treat was on Friday before Halloween because it was school night sometimes. And that Friday would also kick it off with the Colonel Nut Club. I don't know if that's a thing across the nation. The Colonel Nut Club's Halloween costume contest at City Hall. Keep in mind, City Hall was like a 600 square foot little shed. So you didn't go inside. It was all outside. Rain or shine, that's what people were doing. And the Colonel Nut Club sponsored that, and you won silver dollars. Based on your age group, like if you were in the 10-year-old group and you won 10 silver dollars. I won one year. I was 6 years old and my mom made me this homemade spider costume and it was epic. It like had this stuff thing, and my mom's an incredible sewer and she would start on Halloween costumes like as soon as Christmas was over. And like I would raise my arms up and its own web would be on there and it was like all sewn with rope and like it was excellent. I won that year, my brother Josh won that year, and my brother Jake won that year. So Josh was a muscle man, and my mom built him this suit that had like all these sewn in muscles, and like he looked amazing. And I think that my brother Jake was maybe either he was a dinosaur, but my mom sewed that too. Like they were incredible costumes. And does no one else know what a Colonel Nut Club is? Colonel Nut Club is like an organization that does like fundraising and stuff. Like if you have JCs or if you have like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of what other like community organizations like have host events essentially. Nope, no idea. Okay, well, I'm gonna look it up and I'm gonna share that with y'all this week. But a Colonel Nut Club is like an organization in town where people get together and there's a garden club. There's other things like Kiwanis, where they get together and raise funds for things and sponsor, baseball teams, kind of like Shriners. Yeah, something like that. No, it's not D's Nuts. Moose or elks, yeah, like that type of thing. Like it's a Lions club, like it's a community club basically. It's a reason for a bunch of guys to get together and drink, and then they host like a breakfast once a quarter, and then they host like a bingo or they do things like that. But in reality, it's like a fellowship for people to get out of their house, I'm pretty sure. That's really the roots of it. But they typically do create fundraisers and then give back. All their money goes back to the communities. So that was part of it. And Colonel by Kernel, I believe. Colonel, like that type of Colonel, not like the Colonel, like from KFC, like a kernel of nuts, like a nut kernel. Yeah, that's really weird. Anyway, it's in Germantown, Illinois. And if you look it up, I'm sure that you can find it. Anyway, yeah, like the Lions Club or the Knights of Columbus, all of that, like it is, it's just an organization that sponsored things. Anyway, I won 8 silver dollars. I'm pretty sure it was 8 or 10. Anyway, I won and both my brothers won. And we were so excited because these silver dollars like come in this little like card thingy that they're like stuffed behind the little thingy or whatever. And I will tell you, I still have mine today. I have no idea like why, but my whole life that was one thing that I held on to. Weird, but true. And my mom still has the Halloween costumes that she made. I will say the spider was up there in my favorites, but she also made this Rainbow Bright. I was like 3. And when I say made it, I don't mean like just cut it out or anything like that. I mean like sewed and stuffed and made me look exactly like Rainbow Bright. Yarn hair and all with the sparkly little thingy right here and the V. Oh yeah. Big fan. And if that was available for me in human size, like adult human size right now, you would see me wearing it because I love that costume. And I loved Rainbow Bright that much. Somebody says I won $15 bar tab this year. Dorothy, way to go. Way to go. Can you still get silver dollars? Like, is that a thing that you can find? Like, if you go to the bank and say, I want $20 in $2 bills, I want $10 in silver dollars, or do they give you just those gold? So are the gold coins still available, by the way? Is that a thing? Can you do that? And I don't know a lot about currency. Like, do those earn more money over time, or do they just stay as a dollar? So many questions. So many questions. I should probably look into that. Anyway, boy, you all have a lot going on. Ritzy is outside like barking at something like crazy. I'm not sure what that's about. Yes, you can go to the bank and ask for those. Thank you to somebody, Jane, who knows what I'm talking about when it comes to the Colonel Nut Club. Jane, is it only in Germantown? I'm going to sit here and watch the comments like a stalker because, of course, that for me has been normal my whole life. But now that everyone in the world is saying that I am the nut and don't know what I'm talking about, it makes me believe that someone in Germantown made that up, which would not surprise me one single bit. Kind of funny. So, did y'all see Lester's video this morning? You know, the one with Jolene and the woods. A little bit. What'd y'all think about that? I'm so sorry. But I have to fully admit that I was gone at the sanctuary that day when he recorded it. So no, I'm not the witch. But when he showed me his edited video, all I wanted to see was the outtakes, which he still has not allowed me to see. But there's a point where I can tell that he is about to lose it with laughter. And that I think that Kenny's laughing so hard that he's shaking at that point in time. So down when Lester is on the floor and he's going to try to rip off Kenny's duct tape with his teeth and try to save Kenny, I lost it. Like, sincerely lost it. Could not control myself and giggling and laughing and at the ridiculousness of how that must have went down. It was perfect. All I can tell you is that man has the imagination of like Walt Disney. Like, everything to him is just like all this magic can happen. And then he can make it happen and edit it into a video as well. So the symbol on Jolene's head was like, I'm going to give you a hint if you didn't understand that part. Have you seen Blair Witch Project? Because that was sort of like, part of it. I'll just say that. But I can't wait for him to talk to y'all more about it on his live on Friday and kind of tell you how it all went down. But I have to call out that I was not the witch. So super fun, excellent video, perfect for Halloween. I love how his imagination works, and just love that that he can get so many people to go along with him. I thought that I was doing good because people skipped, and I come home and he's got all of that, and I'm like, dang, that was good. That was really good. So super, super great video. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely go check it out. I don't have much more to I'm trying to think of what else is going on. Uh Oki. Oh my gosh, y'all. I don't know if you saw my Oki video from Sunday, but Oki comes running up. Like I walk up to the fence, and no matter where he's at, he will come to me. Now, that might be, he may do that to everyone, but for me, I'm going to say, to me, he comes to me. And he is so curious and so very like cautious, gentle, like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I'm so in love. But I have spent a few days with him this weekend and really, really enjoyed his, like, earning a little bit of his trust and earning Annie's trust as well to go with it. I love it when he comes up to the camera and gets real close and like breathes into it. And like, I'm holding the phone like this, and he'll like touch my hand, like repeatedly touch my hand. So then I reach out with my other one, and he's a little bit cautious, but he wants to touch me, which is amazing. I would love if he becomes pretty friendly, but I'm not going to push it. I don't chase him. I don't put him in the situation, and I certainly don't put Annie in it. He and Indy have met through the fence, and that was a really unique moment because Indy wanted to be closer, but I can't let her be closer right now because y'all saw Ernie and Imogene, and holy cow, we can't. Yeah, Indy is doing really well with the donkeys and with the horses, and that's going well. Oh, Aries just jumped down from the chair and moved the whole chair across the floor. What else? I think that I have like ran through all of the things that are happening. Oh, merch. All right, so I had to wait because they shipped me one more piece of something to try on before we agreed to it. And it came in today. I have not put it on my body yet. But if it fits me the way that, like this, if the sizes are true to size, I'll just put it that way, then our merch should be active by this Friday. And it will have all three of Longhorn Lester's From Suits to Boots and I'm a Survivor on it. And there is a special something in each brand, I'll call it that. And I'm so excited because I worked really hard with Custom Ink to be able to build this to where it looks like a store. And in saying so, it'll still be something that we put up for a limited time, and that allows them to get us a products for cheaper, to be able to print in bulk instead of like the one-off things that you see on a lot of YouTubes where you can order anytime, or people who have a store and keep inventory. This allows them to take the orders, and then they print at the end of that order all in bulk, so we get it for a better price. You get it for a better price. But I'm so excited because Longhorn Lester's has a special piece in it. I'm a Survivor has a special piece in it. And From Suits to Boots has a special piece as well. We made sure that our sizes go up to at least 5X. There are some that go up to 6X. There's kid sizes as well. And some of the things don't need sizes. I know, that's kind of pretty awesome. So more to come on that. I am positive that Lester will reveal that on this Friday. I know I said last Friday. I'm so sorry. It just took some more technical things, but I can tell you that today I saw the website already today, but I needed that one piece of product to come in so I can try it on and tell you if it's true to size or not. And if it's, we always test the materials and make sure it's something that we would wear and that we can say, oh, this is true to size. Because I mean, most of you are women. You can never guarantee that a size is the size. yourself, like when I order something, an extra large could look 5 different ways depending upon the brand. So I like to say what's true to size. So it will have an end date. I haven't set that yet. I want everything to be printed and to be able to be shipped before Christmas. Really important to us that that be a thing. So that's I'm aiming for 2 to 3 weeks for it to be open. We'll just go with that. And now that it's built, it'll be much easier for us to utilize quarterly or 3 times a year, depending upon, how people ask for it, type of thing. But there are some really neat items in there, and I'm so excited to share them with y'all. I don't think I have much else, y'all. I'm not supposed to tell you that Lester is indeed not missing. I'm not supposed to tell you that. Property news. So we don't have any more news about that just yet. We're still working through some of the pieces on it, but we're still working on it. It's not a no, but we're doing some of the business side of things to be able to hopefully make that a future place for our Longhorns and for hay. And who knows for what else. Let's see here. Somebody said Lester's in the tub. We know it. All right, y'all. What else do you want to talk about? I hope the property works out too. Somebody says, I really hope that works out. I think it will. There's just some, like I said, business things to work out and iron out and to go kind of back and forth with, and that happens in every single sale. It probably happens with you if you're buying something off of Facebook Marketplace. Like it doesn't have to be something big, but because it is big, there's paperwork and all the things that go into that. RV trip. I actually asked Lester today if we could take a trip for a few days next week. We're coming upon the holiday season. And even though tonight the weather gets down to 34 and tomorrow 28 degrees, next week we're back in the 80s. So I was hoping that we could sneak away for a day or two. So I don't know if he's talked to Ben yet, because there's a lot of stars that have to align for everything here to be taken care of. So we have to work that out yet. And maybe I'll get an RV trip next week. And then I have to talk to him a little bit more as well, because I kind of want to take it to Illinois. Yeah, I kind of want to go to Illinois for Thanksgiving with the RV. That's what I would like to do. I don't know if he's on board with that or not. We'll see. There's a lot of ifs that go into that, and there has to be a lot of coordination around everything. And then the weather on the way there has to, be cooperative, not ice storming and things like that. So we'll see. Will we have jackets during the merch sale? We will have jackets. And are we keeping Trinity? Lester and I have not talked about that, to be honest with you. We just named her last week, and right now she's on mama. So she's got to be here for at least 6 months. And I don't know what the future of her is, but boy, she is absolutely adorable, y'all. She is the spitting image of her mom, the way that Pearl was the spitting image of her mom. And it is so wild to me when you make a carbon copy of yourself. I say you, but when an animal makes a carbon copy of themselves, because that's like remarkably what has happened here. And that little girl is just the most petite little features, and like I love her little ink dip tail. Like she is just adorable, like absolutely adorable. I think, has Lester driven in ice or snow? Not really. Lester and I took Ellie to the Chiefs Super Bowl parade several years ago, and it was snowing like sideways. You know how that happens. If you live up there, you kind of know that at nighttime it can sort of put you in like it looks like a trance almost, like with the snow blowing towards you, like you can't see anything. And that's how it was. So I took over driving just because I'm experienced in driving in snow and ice, and he was not. But I wouldn't call him so experienced at that because it doesn't really happen here. I mean, if it snows here, everything shuts down. And I don't mean just like there's no school. I mean, it's basically like quarantine orders, ain't nobody leaving, but it also is gone by 10 a.m. typically. Now, in 2021, we had snow that lasted and temperatures that lasted for over a week below freezing. I will tell you that that was like third worldish here because nothing is built for it. Nothing is made for it. Pipes freeze. The electric didn't work because the grid was overwhelmed. Like it was rough, real rough. So we're hoping that we don't have that kind of winter, but boy, we've made changes to prepare for both properties and all the animals should we ever have that circumstance again. But yes, snow here, nobody knows how to do anything. They don't have snow plows. They don't have salt trucks. They don't have salt. They at very best put out some sand on the bridges. And that's like with the guys who work for like the small town cities that get out there like with a shovel. They don't even have a spreader to be able to do that. So like nothing is equipped for it here whatsoever. So everybody just stays home until the sun comes out, which typically is like 10 a.m. and it goes away. So if somebody says definitely have plenty of sand, we do have plenty of sand. It's just that it just creates a mess, and it's just better for everybody to just stay home because no one knows what they're doing. They barely know what they're doing in the rain. Sorry to all of the Texans, but it's rough. Anyway, all right, y'all. I'm going to hang up with y'all after telling the most embarrassing story ever about my mattress purchase. And thank you for listening to all the things going on in our lives, and for, being a part of Timeout Tuesdays and just hanging out with me. It feels so good to just sort of talk about the week with friends. I wish that I love to see your comments. I wish that I could hear you back. I wish that I could sit here and talk to each and every one of you and hear about your days as well, and hear about your weeks and what's going on in your world and whatnot. And maybe someday we'll be able to do that. But for now, you get to hear about my shit show, sadly, and all of the crazy things that we do over here. And I just want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of our life. And thank you for giving me the greatest gift of all, which is your time. I hope you all have a very blessed Tuesday, that you stay well, that you stay safe, that you have a great Halloween. And Lester will catch you on Friday on Live with a link from merch, and maybe he'll be able to tell you some of the secrets of today's Halloween video at that time too. I love y'all, and I hope you have a good night.